Hello Bama fans! A new target on Alabama's defensive line? Let's evaluate, but first subscribe to the channel to continue receiving more Bama news. The news that Edward Baker, a promising talent from St. Francis Academy, received an offer from Alabama reinforces the solid recruiting strategy of the Crimson Tide, especially under the current leadership. Baker's arrival on the program's radar signals Alabama's commitment to continue strengthening its offensive line with young athletes of high potential, always seeking those who share the desire and dream of evolving and reaching the highest level of American football. Baker does not hide his emotion and gratitude upon receiving the offer from Alabama, a gesture that he considers a dream come true. "This offer means a lot, a dream come true," said Baker. His words make it clear that this is not just a professional opportunity, but a recognition of the hard work and dedication that the young man has shown throughout his high school career. And now, with this opportunity in hand, he joins the select group of athletes who see Alabama as a springboard for their NFL ambitions. Alabama's appeal to young men like Baker goes beyond his accomplishments on the field. For many, the Crimson Tide represents an environment for personal and athletic development that is unmatched. Baker, specifically, praises the program's ability to not only produce quality NFL players, but also to mold new athletes who are better for the league in general. "They have a great history of developing guys and putting them in the NFL and making them better men," the athlete said, highlighting the importance of the program's philosophy in his choice. Baker is a versatile athlete, capable of playing multiple roles on the offensive line. With a combination of agility and strength, he stands out for his ability to complete blocks and advance to the second level with efficiency. His self-confidence is also remarkable. He sees himself as a solid passer and a quality run blocker. However, Baker is not complacent. He firmly believes that under the guidance of head coach Chris Kapolovic, his skills can be refined to new heights. Coach Kapolovic, in turn, is known for his ability to work with and develop raw talent on the offensive line. For young men like Baker, being mentored by a coach of this caliber promises a bright future. The combination of Baker's talent and Kapolovic's expertise could translate into a huge boost for Alabama, which, year after year, seeks to maintain the high level of its offensive line. For the Crimson Tide, the offer to Edward Baker represents not only another piece on the recruiting board, but a reinforcement that could bring benefits both on the field and in strengthening the culture of excellence that characterizes the program. Nick Saban's now-only commentary remarks about that anxiety among the Alabama Crimson Tide raise a crucial point about the 2024 season. With Alabama having fallen to a 5-2 record following a narrow loss to the Tennessee Volunteers and a series of heartbreaking games, the pressure of maintaining the program's legacy appears to be taking its toll on players. Despite having been atop the SEC for so many years, the mental challenges and constant expectation of outright victory may be weighing on players' shoulders. Saban, who now provides commentary for College Game Day, noted that Alabama's current problem is not one of talent but of mindset. The team has the skill to dominate games, however, small mental errors and lapses in focus are costing them dearly. He notes that players are stuck in a results-driven mindset, preoccupied with winning at all costs, which is keeping them from playing with the intensity and discipline that has always characterized the Crimson Tide. This approach, Saban says, is not allowing the team to reach the level of excellence for which the program is known. This focus on the outcome, rather than the execution of the game itself, creates a psychological pressure that is difficult to manage for young players who have to deal with the expectation of a near-impeccable record on the field. With close losses, such as the recent setback against Vanderbilt and a gut-wrenching win over South Carolina, it is clear that the team is struggling to find its mental balance. Saban suggests that Alabama needs to stop focusing exclusively on winning and instead get back to basics, playing to a high standard that has historically been the essence of the program. Saban's point about the L-word anxiety resonates deeply in the context of college football, especially for a program as demanding as Alabama. The expectation of winning every game is a reality for the Crimson Tide, and the pressure to live up to that expectation can turn the field into an environment where anxiety becomes an invisible adversary. Saban believes that by focusing on one play at a time and maintaining a standard of excellence, the team can regain its confidence and consistency. If Alabama can find that standard again and shake off the anxiety, the team can still have a successful season, but it will require a significant mental adjustment. Saban's analysis is a reminder of the importance of mindset in high-level sports, where talent and skill are only part of the puzzle. The 2024 NFL season finally looks like it will give former Alabama Crimson Tide quarterbacks Tua Tagovailoa and Bryce Young a chance to bounce back. After a series of setbacks, both have the opportunity to reclaim their starting positions, something that not only represents a boost to their careers, but also a shot of hope for their respective franchises. It is clear that these former Crimson Tides have had a significant impact on the NFL, and their return to the starting lineups will give their teams a new lease of life. Tagovailoa, who suffered a brutal concussion in Week 2, has completed the NFL's concussion protocol and has been cleared to play. With the green light from neurological experts, Tagovailoa's return is a huge relief for the Dolphins, who have clearly missed him, posting a worrying 1-3 record without him. His accuracy and leadership on the field are key to Miami regaining the momentum needed for the season. The upcoming matchup with the Arizona Cardinals will be an interesting test for him, and with the support of his team, there is a lot of hope that he can lead Miami back to winning ways. Bryce Young, meanwhile, will have another chance to prove himself, returning to the starting lineup due to the unfortunate circumstances involving Andy Dalton, who was injured in a car accident. The Panthers' season is essentially lost in terms of a playoff spot, but that situation leaves room for something more important: Young's development. With Carolina firmly out of the running, moving Young under center is a sensible and strategic decision, allowing him to gain experience in real-world game situations. This Sunday against the Broncos, he will have the opportunity to demonstrate what he has learned and adapt to the intensity of the NFL, something that could shape his trajectory in the league. Jalen Hurts and Mac Jones, other former Alabama QBs, also face considerable challenges this year. Hurts has struggled to recapture the consistency that made him stand out in seasons past, while Jones has been relegated to the bench for a Jacksonville team struggling to stay competitive with a 2-5 record. However, with the NFL's unpredictability, especially for struggling teams, Jones' opportunity could come before the end of the season, whether due to injury or a tactical change. Until then, he remains on standby, waiting for his chance to make a difference. These Alabama quarterbacks' NFL journeys reflect the challenges and twists and turns that the league imposes, but they also highlight the resilience and talent they bring to the Crimson Tide. Tagovailoa and Young now have an opportunity to cement their value to their teams and show fans that they are ready for the challenge. A.J. McCarron's critique of the current state of Alabama's football program brings to light a perspective that resonates with many fans and former players nostalgic for the Crimson Tide's golden years. Appearing on the McCready and Siskey podcast, McCarron was vocal in pointing out what he considers a different era at Alabama, noting that the team dynamic and player mindset have changed dramatically since its heyday in the early 2010s. McCarron says the current focus on social media and the opportunities afforded by the NIL appear to be negatively impacting players' commitment to the program. He cites TikTok and the desire for individual recognition as symptoms of a broader problem where personal gain is beginning to compete with dedication to the team. Everyone is worried about TikTok and having a reel. We didn't have that back then, McCarron said. This outburst highlights his perception that, in his time, the focus was purely on winning games and attracting the attention of NFL scouts and owners, believing that success on the field was the key to financial success and long-term stability. This shift away from the discipline that McCarron believes is essential to the Crimson Tide may be a reflection of the changes in college football. Today, players have opportunities to monetize their image and engage with their followers directly, something unthinkable in the pre-NIL era. McCarron points out that this dynamic impacts team unity and focus on the common goal of winning. In his view, the development model that made Alabama a national powerhouse appears to be threatened by this new reality, where players are more concerned with brands and followers than with team cohesion and competitive spirit. However, it is important to note that McCarron did not point the finger directly at head coach Kalen DeBoer or his staff, making it clear that this is not a criticism of the current coaching staff. "This is not a criticism of the coaching staff or anyone else," McCarron said, emphasizing that the problem is broader and stems from the modern culture of college football and the current generation of players. This distance keeps the criticism from falling on DeBoer, who, in his first year as Alabama's coach, faces the challenge of adapting the program to a scenario where a balance between tradition and innovation is essential. McCarron had already publicly addressed the team's lack of leadership in 2014, which prompted a swift response from Nick Saban at the time. His stance today seems to reflect a deeper understanding of the transformations that college football is undergoing. At the same time, it is clear that McCarron feels that the standards of excellence and team philosophy for which Alabama is known may be compromised. He warns fans to adjust their expectations, suggesting that the Crimson Tide standard, marked by a consistent winning era from 2008 until recently, may no longer be the same. McCarron's comment touches on broader issues pertinent to Alabama's future, challenging the program's leaders to find ways to keep the culture of excellence and team spirit that has defined the Crimson Tide alive, even in a climate where social media influence and NIL are here to stay. What do you think? Your thoughts are important to Bama.